right, welcome back and thank you so much for staying with Morning Live on this Friday morning. Now, yesterday, Chief Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng delivered his ruling in a matter brought before the Constitutional Court by the UDM, in which he declared that the Speaker of the National Assembly, Baleka Mbete, has the constitutional power to prescribe that voting in a motion of no confidence in the President of South Africa be conducted by secret ballot. He also said the Speaker's decision of the 6th of April 2017 that she does not have the power to prescribe that voting in the motion of no confidence in the President be conducted by secret ballot is set aside. But to clarify if this opens the way for the Speaker to schedule the motion as requested by the opposition, Moloto Mothapo is the spokesperson of the National Assembly and not the Speaker herself, joins us from our studios in Parliament. And Dr. Mothapo, good morning to you and thank you so much for coming through. What is the immediate reaction of the Parliament on the ruling?
Well, the reaction of Parliament is that it is a welcome clarification on a matter that none of us was clear about. You remember that before this court challenge, there was no clarification with regard to whether the Speaker of the National Assembly has got powers to grant or to determine the motion of no confidence through a secret ballot. There was, before the Speaker of the National Assembly, the judgment of the Western Cape High Court that dismissed a request for the motion of no confidence to be conducted through a secret ballot in 2013. When you look at the Constitution, it is very explicit in terms of the election or the appointment of the President that should be conducted through a secret ballot. But the removal of the President, both in terms of Section 102 or Section 89, is silent in terms of whether that should be done through a secret ballot. So this judgment, it is a welcome clarification on this matter, and it will inform the work of Parliament going forward.
Yeah. So Parliament welcomes the clarity, of course, by the Concord. But this whole issue has sort of created questions over whether the Speaker understands the rules that governs her work. What would you say on this matter?
Well, the Speaker does not formulate or create the rules of the National Assembly. Members of Parliament belonging to political parties are the ones that are responsible for the creation of the rules. And before this particular judgment, there was no rule, and as we stand, there is no rule in terms of the rules of the National Assembly that explicitly grants the Speaker of the National Assembly the powers to determine that the motion of no confidence be conducted through a secret ballot. Okay. So the Speaker can only act in terms of the existing rules, in terms of the Constitution and in terms of the law. So where there is no clarification and there is silence, especially in terms of the Constitution, the Constitutional Court is there to ensure that there is a clarification, there is an authoritative interpretation of the Constitution for the benefit of all of us. And in this regard, we welcome such kind of a clarification so that it from now on informs the work of Parliament, and we know in future the powers that the Speaker has in terms of this particular judgment and under the Constitution.
All right. And Judge Mogoeng said the Speaker can actually go on to schedule the motion taking into account specific factors. What factors are these, and does it strengthen the Speaker's hand in deciding whether to go for a public or a secret vote?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're correct. The Constitutional Court said that the Speaker has got the powers to determine whether a motion of no confidence can be conducted through a secret ballot or not. And in doing so, the Speaker will be informed by various factors. Has to take into consideration the prevailing conditions regarding a specific request for a motion of no confidence, and to ensure that whatever decision that she takes has to be rational. So each and every motion will be, of course, subjected to a particular process, and the Speaker has got the powers to ensure that before a decision is taken, all factors are taken into consideration.
All right. But as it stands now, has the Speaker decided on the way forward, Dr. Mothapo?
Well, you remember that there was a motion that was already tabled before the House, but with this particular court case, it was suspended. So there is a letter that has been received from the leader of the Democratic Alliance with regard to the scheduling of this motion, since now that the clarification has been provided by the court, and the Speaker is considering that letter, and she will accordingly respond to the leader of the opposition with a decision as to whether this motion warrants a secret ballot or not, as it has been provided in the judgment.
All right, so she hasn't taken that decision now as it is?
No. It's still applying her mind to the letter, and then she will respond.
All right. But in other news, yesterday the Speaker's office stated that it will take the Public Protector's remedial action directed at Parliament under judicial review. What does this mean?
Well, if you look at the remedial action of the Public Protector, it really goes beyond her constitutional powers and usurps the powers of the National Assembly that it enjoys under the Constitution, particularly Section 57, that says that the National Assembly has got the powers to determine its own internal arrangements and procedures. So for the Public Protector to direct a remedial action to Parliament, to specifically the Portfolio Committee on Justice and Constitutional Development, even outlining a process on behalf of Parliament that ought to be followed, as well as the wording that must be used in terms of the constitutional amendment. That really undermines, we believe that it undermines what really is supposed to be the powers of the National Assembly, that it has under the Constitution to determine its own internal procedures and arrangement, and it warrants a judicial review, because, as you know, the remedial actions of the Public Protector are binding unless taken on judicial review, and that's exactly the procedure that the Speaker will be undertaking in this regard. The application will be initiated with a view to set this particular remedial action aside, because we believe that it is not in line with the Constitution, it is irrational.
All right. Just a quick one, going back to the issue of the Constitutional Court in Moloto Mothapo. What assurance does Parliament give to, obviously, the South Africans watching this interview from home, that whatever the decision the Speaker will take will not be biased? I mean, previously we've seen the UDM leader, Bantu Holomisa, saying that the initial response by the Speaker was tantamount to choosing the interest of the party above the interest of her constitutional duty. So what assurance is there that whatever she decides on will solely be based on sound reasoning and the factors that the Chief Justice was referring to yesterday?
Well, let's make it clear that the Speaker is on, as I've indicated, the Speaker does not design the rules. She only acts according to the rules. These rules are the creation of political parties themselves. So the Speaker, in every decision that she takes, she looks at the rules and ensures that it is consistent and firmly in line with the rules of the Assembly. Just like she is a creation of the Constitution, all her decisions are firmly in line with the Constitution and the law. And I can assure you that, as with any other decision that she has taken before, this particular decision on this motion of no confidence will be firmly in line with the Constitution, will be firmly in line with the guidance that has been provided by the judgment of yesterday, ensuring that she looks at all the prevailing factors and conditions and ensure that it informs her decision whether this particular motion of no confidence warrants a secret ballot or not.
All right. Moloto Mothapo, we'll leave it at that for now, but thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you very much. Well, there you have it. That is Moloto Mothapo, a Parliament spokesperson, talking to us about the Concord ruling yesterday that the Speaker of Parliament has the powers to decide on the circuit ballot on the motion of no confidence in President Jacob Zuma.